go. And today we're talking about a fantastic guitar player, total icon, and we're going to really shoot for a cool inspired by lesson today that's got a lot of melodic playing. That's what we're going to shoot for today. Or very lyrical playing, because in my opinion, that's how I guess the best way we could describe, that's what I should say, this guitar player's style. So I'm going to do my best to replicate this, and we're going to be very simple today and just kind of work around the tonality of a G chord and have that just be our platform to work from. Hey everybody, please do me the biggest favor of all. All you got to do is click on this link that you see below in that YouTube text box. You knew I was going to say it. It's full of so much good information, and all you got to do is click on that link. What will you get? You're going to get a free ebook. You're going to get a lesson that is not available on YouTube. That coinciding ebook, great scale shapes, chord diagrams, all the info that you need, you know it, and all you got to do is just click that link. So let's talk about the scales that we're going to use to accomplish this. Of course, if we're talking about G major that is, we're going to have to reference our E minor pentatonic scale. So that looks like this up here. And we're going to probably use some of our relative minor in here. And I'm going to put up a caged kind of format. And caged is just a fancy way to say our scales exist in a pretty confined space. So that scale is going to look like this. And I bet you I'll be long-winded and probably talk about this form of pentatonic too. So let's break this guy in. Probably go here too, so we'll get him in there. I gotta cover all my bases. Sometimes I get a little excited and I just start talking, and I want to make sure we cover everywhere that we might possibly play on the guitar, so when it's time to play Tetris, we're good. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna work around this G chord, like I said, and we're gonna try to be as lyrical as possible. Let me give you an example of a lick. Now, that's a really fun thing to play, and it incorporates so many different things that are really important to talk about. Let's just show you what the lick is. I'm sliding. That initial slide was from 15 to 16, working as a passing note, and I'm going to break out some of these other notes that you wouldn't typically think, but I'm going to execute it in a pentatonic type of a format. So I have... Now, what's really cool about this is that I'm not going to use so much of the tension of the string to do my vibrato. I'm going to use my tremolo bar. So if you don't have a tremolo bar, do you have to? Nope. But is it going to work for this style a little bit better? It might, but it's just the point, you know, of making sure that we approach it differently. That's the whole thing. So vibrato, when we use our tremolo bar, is really cool because we could make it last a little bit longer, the sustain of the note, and it's great for the left hand to make sure you establish that pitch right away. Now, when people go for the tremolo bar, and they never have, if you've got one, you know, sitting around in your guitar case, go grab it. Your guitar will stay in tune, don't worry. It'll be all right. So when they go for this, a lot of times I'll get a lot of these crazy bad horsey noises that'll happen on it. And you want to be very delicate with it because it's just, you know, it's a tension-based instrument, and we want to manipulate the tension very slowly. And I've got this bend, and this real subtle amount of vibrato. I'm going to tighten that up a little bit more. And I'm just gripping it here between my index finger and my middle, and I'm going straight up and down, and I'm just thinking, honestly, like a oscilloscope. I just see the note in my head really slowly. And I'm going to try to stop it at its peak. I don't want to necessarily hear on the way down. I want to control the idea. So again, with this lick that we had, we incorporated a little bit of the minor scale with this note. And we had some of the pentatonic. Now, why is that working? Well, in pentatonic playing, a lot of times licks will gravitate to resolving notes. And in this case, we're talking about E pentatonic. This is a D note stretching up to that E. And that makes a great sense of closing and resolution for the idea. Now, it's all about the little things with this style. So I did a slight little bend, and then I dropped it, went right back up to it, then I incorporated the tremolo bar. Now, what else can we do here? Well, let's just keep going. G major is consistent of 3 notes, right? It's a 3-note triad, G, B, and D. Playing these things in various ways. That's a good way for me to find out what those notes are. So I'm going to do some very lyrical type ideas or runs in this style that are going to land on any one of those notes, and it's going to create a great sense of the sound that we're looking for. So, example. Just a nice, went to the 1. Really, really easy. I used a little bit of this form of pentatonic. Again, we'll reference that. There's the 1 right there. There's my G. I can switch my fingering. And I'm thinking of really smooth sounds, really lyrical sounds, short phrases that if I could actually sing, I would try to play. And that's the whole thing. So let's look at what I did there again. A little bit of vibrato. This A is going up to this B, the 3rd of a G chord, so it's working. It's making some good resolution. Some vibrato on a regular standard note. And that's a nice little simple pull off. And resolving to that G. Reference form of scale. Which in a sense would be a great lick right there, because that's a D. So, what's going on here? G major is made up of a G, B, and D shaped triad, or those are the notes in my triad. I'm doing licks that resolve to that. Again, incorporating a little bit of the vibrato from the tremolo bar. So, let's work out some of these other ideas here. Short little phrase, but really, really to the point and just sweet if you play it the right way. Which doesn't mean that I am. It means that I'm trying. That's the whole thing. And through trying, sharing with you, maybe you could put a little bit more behind it than I can. And hey man, my point is made. My goal is done. Mission statement is accomplished. Sharing with the people. That's what we're doing. Now that lick, quick. Really, really nice. And I think what helps too with this is having a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb to kind of carry your notes out. Again, we can do blues-oriented licks that will resolve to notes in the chord, also outlining notes of our minor scale here. So that'll give us a little bit more character, a little bit more spice. Ideas here. You can see I'm improvising as I'm doing this video, so they're changing a little bit, but you can hear where I'm going with it. I got a little bit of the I hit the note, I dip slightly with the bar. So I have pull, dip, dip, pull. Ending on the D. So what's going on in my mind while I do these is I'm playing through the scale shapes that we talked about at the top of the video. I'm doing licks that are not very difficult to initially execute. This works at a beginner and an advanced level, I think, because sometimes advanced players don't really pay attention to tone and vibrato as much as they do, you know, shotgun and a lot of these techniques. But this is a lot of technique into itself. Technique doesn't overtly have to be crazy fast, you know, display of notes. In this case, a simple lick like that is going to have way more impact than if I was trying to do some crazy sweeping idea. We want to create notes that are in the chord that affect people when they're listening. And that's what this really does. This guitar player is brilliant at it. And that's why it's such a lasting sound, you know, through so many generations. So everybody, thanks for checking out this lesson. I think the idea behind it is to focus on tone, focus on vibrato. I can and often do spend hours talking about the way to bend the strings to make sure that you attack it the right way. Be conscious of little things like vibrato and how you can use the tremolo bar to do it, not necessarily your fingers. And play over some simple chords. So refer to this video, and as the material goes by, just take some of those things and incorporate it into your own. Replicate it yourself, and our mission statement will be accomplished. So thanks so much. Go to the website, nextlevelguitar.com. Tons and tons of videos. How many, in fact?
1,092 and growing.
There it is. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm adding to it. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you next time.